Hi, everybody. We're back. We're still talking about getting your home ready for sale, and now we're getting ready for the launch and the pre-launch. So, okay, your home is ready for the market. Now it's time to launch.
Yes. So what does that mean to launch your property? So what we do is it includes getting everything, the photos together for the MLS, all the verbiage is going to go into the MLS, agent to agent communication, which that can mean emails, that can mean calls, and it also means as we go broker caravan, which we'll talk about in a moment. Also would include open houses for the first weekend or first few days that it's on the market. That is really important, and we'll talk about that as to why that's important. And then also the beginning of showings after your home's been on the market for a little bit. So let's start off. We like to do questions. A lot of our clients ask us questions about these stages of putting their home on the market. Some of our clients have never sold a home before, or maybe they hadn't sold one in a very long time and they've now inherited a home. And so this can be really helpful to have some of these answers to these questions. So one of the questions we're asked a lot is, do we have to put our home on the MLS?
Well, of course, you don't have to. That would be your choice. But if you really want to get the most buyers and the highest price for your property, these days we have all the different apps. We have Zillow and Redfin and Realtors.com, and people are on searches.
Mm-hmm.
So when something comes up in their neighborhood or something they're interested in that goes because it's syndicated through the MLS, they'll get an alert. So you really do reach a lot more people if you're on the MLS.
And most of our clients are approached first before they go on the MLS to sell off market. We've talked about that in a prior video with Berkshire Hathaway. We syndicate internationally as well. So people who are looking to move to San Diego from outside of the country will actually be able to see that your house is for sale. I know there's so many videos now on YouTube that say, before you put your house on the market, give us a call. We'll pay full price. And we've had a lot of clients get that. And then the price that they were offered was often much less than the price they got after they put their house on the market. So you'll get, like Drew said, all of the buyers that are looking in the market internationally, locally, by being on the MLS. Okay, so now agent to agent communication. One of the things that is important in San Diego County that a lot of the areas do is broker caravan. And a lot of our clients ask these questions. So we have a few here. Drew, how does broker caravan work?
Well, it's different in different parts of the city. I'll just speak about La Jolla. La Jolla has a tour that's involved in that. So about 150 agents and brokers get together every Wednesday morning. We do a pitch session of what we have coming and whatever. And then if your home is on the broker caravan that day, we'll get to be able to talk about your home specifically in front of these, get a really good description for them. And then we all go out and look at the new homes that are on the tour. That goes from 10 a.m. to 12:30. We generally like to get to your home about 9:30. And then we're usually done about 1 o'clock. So we just open it up and then close the house down.
And my own question, it's not on my list, but about how many agents usually do that in La Jolla on Wednesdays?
Anywhere between 130 and 150.
Yeah.
We'll have a couple of slow days around holidays or things like that. But in general, we have quite a few people that attend that.
Many of those agents have clients that they're looking for. And so they're looking at it for future clients or present clients and calling them right away. Mm-hmm. And so the question is, who attends?
Who attends? It's all the brokers and agents around San Diego. Typically, the ones that attend the broker caravans are the ones that are a bit more successful, that have an active real estate practice going.
And you talked about when it is, so we already talked about it. And in different parts of the city, you said there are different days. But most areas of San Diego do have a sort of broker caravan or a pitch session. So it's really important to be able to have your home involved in that. Mm-hmm. And then the last question that our clients have is, what do they need to do? What do you need to do to be ready for the broker caravan?
Well, like I said, we usually need to get to the home. Christy and I will get to the home at 9:30ish, and we make sure all the lights are on and everything looks as tidy as can be. And then we get ready for the agents and brokers to come through. We host the broker caravan. And so we're there to answer all the questions and help those agents figure out if this is a good fit for their clients.
And this usually takes place right when your house is just exactly ready for the market. Photos have been done. Landscaping looks great. So it's within a couple of days. And if you've inherited a home, a lot of people aren't living there, but if you are living in the home, then it still is pretty easy to do because you don't have much prep. We've already had it all prepped for you to ready to go. And you might need to just go to the movies or
take a couple hours, right?
Yeah. So, and that's another question. Can you be there? And we always suggest that most of our sellers don't stay for the caravan. It can be overwhelming with all those agents walking through and talking about what they think. And so we always feel like our clients are much happier if they go off and do something fun and we take care of the house.
Yeah.
So on to open houses. So within this week, we're actually really talking about a timeline of about a week that goes on once your house is ready, goes into the MLS, and then this first week is a really important time period. So it's agent communication, it's been in the MLS, and then we have an open house. Try to do it on the weekends. That's when most people can come to the open house, but sometimes we'll do it during the week as well if it's available. So really, who's the open house for is what a lot of our clients ask.
Well, obviously, it's for clients that are people who are looking for homes. Like I talked about before, the syndication pushes out that there's going to be an open house at your home between Zillow and Redfin and Realtor and all the different apps, and they're on alerts. So oftentimes people don't want to reach out to their agent. They just want to go on their own. We do have some new rules that you have to sign a buyer broker agreement if you want to go see the house, but to the open house, you don't have to do that. So a lot of those people come and then they'll call their agent and say, hey, look, we saw it. We really love it. We want to come back for an official showing.
Right. And so why would you suggest having the open house? That's a question we get a lot too.
I mean, open houses are just great exposure, especially like hyper local exposure. I mean, neighbors, they love to get their family, friends, anything to be their new neighbors, right? So neighbors sell homes all the time. You'll get, people that maybe weren't really interested in the market, but then they see it, it'll pop up on their phone or they'll see our signs and they'll come and check it out and potentially fall in love with your house.
And walking through a house is really important. Photography is important because that's the first thing people see, but really having a buyer that's interested walk through the home is really important as well. So open houses give that availability. And again, the question is, do we need to leave the home during the open house?
Yes. I suggest leaving the open house. Yes. It's just, so, I mean, I think what happens is that people feel like it's their own when they're walking through it. But if there's the homeowner that's maybe lived there for a really long time that's still in the home, it kind of causes some different kinds of emotions. And everybody knows that, buying a home is a very emotional process. So I always suggest that, take a couple hours off and like Christy said, maybe go to the movies or go have a long lunch.
Yeah, there's a good amount of separation that can happen between the buyer and seller at that point that I think does decrease any kind of anxiety and emotion that can interfere. So I agree. And then what about valuables? We were asked that too, like, what do we do about valuables and do we take care of that or does the homeowner?
Oh, so the homeowners will take care of that because they're their item. So I always suggest there's two things, obviously jewelry, watches, any of that kind of stuff, anything that's, family heirloom or something like that. And believe it or not, the medicine cabinet. The medicine cabinet's a big deal to take whatever kind of medicine you have in there. And either you can take these items with you or you can put them in a safe, whichever you prefer. But those are the main items that we find that, we don't want laying around.
And we are at the open houses. Like very rarely have I seen an agent, but there have been a few that they just open the house and then they leave and the house is open. But that's not how we do our open houses. Our open houses, we are there. We greet people when they come in. We don't go into bathrooms with people, so that's why with the medication, if you have any medication, it's good to put that away. Laptops, like Drew said, and, sometimes musical instruments. We have had some clients, they might have a closet that they can lock, and that's okay to put that in there. We don't need to show closets necessarily during an open house. It's really just for people to walk through and get the feel of the house. So, and then the other questions that we have two more on open houses, like how do we handle visitors that come in?
Oh, we greet them at the door. We have like a sign-in sheet. We, discuss with them, like, how did they find us? Are they here? Do they have an agent they're working with? So we get some like parameters on them right when we first meet them, right when they walk through the door.
Yeah, we really do engage with the people that come. Drew does most of our open houses. If it's a big house, it's hard to have one person there, then I'm often there too. And we do want to know, are these neighbors that are coming through, and how long have they been looking? And most people do come now to open houses, we have found, by looking online. So again, back to being on the MLS, it's better for you as a seller if your home's in the MLS, because then everyone that's looking knows, oh, there's going to be an open house, we'll go there first. So what happens though if someone wants to make an offer? This is a great question at an open house. How do we handle that?
So we've done this a few times in the past. When someone comes in and they're like super excited about the house, oftentimes they don't have an agent. So what we do is that we make an appointment with them right after the open house. We have them come into our office. We have a 20 to 30-minute conversation with them. We kind of vet them to see if they're able to buy the property and kind of what their story is, and try to get through some of that. So we don't just do it, haphazardly. We make them come in, and depending on how serious they are, they're going to come into our office. And if they're not, then we have a good idea of kind of where they are as a buyer.
Yeah, yeah. And this is our office. We shoot in our office, which is right here in downtown La Jolla. And, if for some reason, because a lot of our clients aren't selling in La Jolla, like we sell all over San Diego County. So if we're doing a open house in, let's say, Poway, or we're in, some Rancho Santa Fe, we might meet them after the open house at the cafe or somewhere close by and have just a conversation with them and make sure that they are qualified. And before writing up an offer, because we want to make sure that they're able to move forward on purchasing the home. And then after the open house, what happens is we like to call this on our team like a percolation period of time, where the house is on the market, usually, for the first week and weekend, and then maybe a couple of days after the weekend. Not every buyer might be in town when that happens, or some buyers are coming in town to see houses. They may see your house on the market and decide they're going to fly in from somewhere else. So we always suggest, giving a couple of days after the open house, and that's when we then get into showings. So the house isn't going to be open every day necessarily. So we would have showings. And some of the questions we have is, how will agents request a showing? So do they call you? Do you use an app, or just show up?
So we're a concierge business here on our team. So we have the agents call us directly, and most of the time we're able to meet these agents at the properties and view the properties with them and meet their clients and do all that. Occasionally, if we have a property that's maybe out of our
luxury
zone.
zone.
The luxury zone. Yeah. So we'll have a lockbox to be able to put on that, and then so how that works is that they still have to call our office. They still have to make an appointment. And then we have a lockbox. It's called Central Lock. And it alerts us immediately as soon as someone opens it. And it also alerts us right after they close it. So we have a really good idea of like when they were there, how long they were there, and who was there.
Yeah. We actually prefer to show the house either ourselves. We also have a showing agent on our team who works full time, and we have somebody available 7 days a week on our team, just because it's helpful to meet the agent and to meet the buyer. But in some markets, it is not feasible for us to be at every showing, because if it's in an area where a lot of our working buyers are getting off work at 5 o'clock and their agents are meeting them, right after work, and they're seeing a lot of properties and it slows them down, we don't want them to miss seeing a property. So we will sometimes put a lockbox on for those reasons. And so you already talked about lockbox. Restrictions. Can sellers set some restrictions on showing times? Like if they don't want to show in the evening or not during school pickup, or et cetera?
Absolutely. We can work around your schedule as long as we have some pretty good guidelines from you as to when those times are. Yeah, that's no problem. We do that all the time.
Yes. And again, the question is, do we leave for every showing, or can we stay?
Also, again, suggest.
Just step out. Some people go for a walk. Some people, have kind of figure out what they want to do. Because showings are usually about 30 to 45 minutes. So it's not as long as an open house. And just every situation's different. Our goal is to meet our clients where they're at, and also do showings in a timely manner for the buyers and the agents. So we're really good at that, and we really don't have anything set in stone. But this is a loose idea of what happens and how that happens, what we do work with our clients individually. Yep. And so next video is going to be the fun video. That's when you receive an offer. So we'll go through everything on offer, some of the language that's in an offer, and what it's like here in San Diego. So some of you may be watching and living in Northern California, or you're out of state. And we know that every area is a little different when it comes to getting your house ready for the market, the property launch, and also how offers come in and how we handle them. So
yeah, I mean, we've sold a home to people that were living in Europe at the time. So like, you know, it's very different than buying a property in Europe and Southern California. Right. We're just different vocabulary, different contracts, all that stuff. So it's important.
Yeah, so we'll be back. Thanks for watching. And if you could subscribe, we would love it.
Oh, and if you ever have questions, you want to chat with me, my phone number is 858-220-3004. I'm happy to talk to you about any of this.
Yes, feel free to call.
Okay, take care.